Hey everybody, it's Curtis with Everything Ham Radio. Today we are going to be doing a review on hamstudy.org, so stick around. Well, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be continuing our series of study material apps / websites type thing. Before we get into that, let's get a little house cleaning out of the way. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just click on that link down in the bottom right hand corner and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Also check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/everythinghamradio. I'm on Twitter at K5CLM, on Instagram at everythinghamradio. Just search for it. And of course the blog at everythinghamradio.com. I am doing a series of blog posts on the new section managers for this month, as well as doing these videos and review videos every Friday. I missed this Friday because of some technical difficulties, but I'm going to try and get this up today, so I'm only a day late. But anyways, let's get on to hamstudy.org and let's head on over to the computer and I'll show you what we got. Alright, so I was going to do this on my computer, and this is actually the fourth or fifth time I'm actually recording this. So I'm ended up having to do it on my phone due to some technical difficulties, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to, that this is actually going to work. But anyways, this is the hamstudy.org website, as you can see here. You have your technician or your different levels of testing you can do, and it is a free website, free to use, as long as you do it on the website. Now they do have a app that you can buy that is $2.99, and it's available for iOS and Android. And the only real benefit of having the app over the website is that you can use it when you're offline. You don't have to have a data connection to study, which in ways it could be good, but nowadays it is whatever. So anyways, let's get on with that. So first thing you need to do is you need to register. If you don't have one, you simply click on where it says register for free, and you can log in with Facebook, with Google, or with an email, and then you simply scroll down to the bottom and you click accept. After you get done, after you click accept, you'll get an email. And you'll have to activate your account. Since I already have one, I'm just going to go ahead and click on login and log in here. Okay, so after you've logged in, you're going to have your options to choose from. You have your technician, your general, and your extra classes. And on the side there, you'll see when the question pool is good for. The question pool redoes every 4 years or so. But before we get into the questions, I want to scroll down here a little bit, and I want to look at the study tips. So let's go ahead and click on that. And, with the removal of the Morse code requirement, it's relatively easy to get a ham radio license, especially the technician. You don't have to worry about the code requirement anymore. So that makes it pretty nice as far as getting into it if you're not tech savvy or you don't want to learn the code or anything like that. So, like I said, there's the technician, the general, and the extra question pools that are available. And then on the other, they have the Canadian, French Canadian, and the FCC commercial question pools as well on this site. But anyways, let's look at some of the tips here that we can look at. So let me scroll down a little bit here. So first off, you want to set a deadline for taking your test. You want to set it for anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks is what I recommend. You don't want to go really any further than that because you kind of get lax. You don't have that goal in mind to practice, and you don't have that sense of urgency. So I recommend, like I said, anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks, and put something on your calendar, whether it's on your phone, the calendar on your phone, or on your wall, or on your desk, or whatever. And also put a notice on there every week prior to that. 3 weeks left, 2 weeks left, whatever. That will help you in remembering to study and setting aside some time to do it. And also, limit the time that you're going to be studying as well. Don't sit down and study for 6 hours a day once a week because you're not going to remember everything. Set aside an hour a day, whether it's a full hour one time a day, or whether you're going to split it up into, say, 20-minute segments or 30-minute segments. Say like during your lunch hour, study for half an hour after you get done eating, and then maybe half an hour before you go to bed. Next up is the learn the math, memorize the rest. Now, with the technician class license, you're really only going to have Ohm's law and frequency conversion formulas. Really the only two things that I can think of off the top of my head. And Ohm's law is simply with power or voltage, current, and resistance. Very easy formulas to do. Very easy formula to change to whatever you're solving for. Frequency is basically you're going to be changing a frequency of, say, 14 megahertz to the 20 meter band. And there's a couple questions on there. You may not get questions for either one of those. I've seen tests where there's not any kind of math on there at all. Thirdly, use several different methods of learning. Everybody is different. Everybody, you either read and you learn something, or you hear it and you learn something, or you write it and you learn something. Everybody is different, but try different methods of how you learn the question pool. Read the question and the answers out loud. Write down the questions, or simply read them on the thing here. Either way you do it, or whichever way you do it, try multiple ways to really get that material engraved into your brain. Lastly is study the correct answers only. Don't read every answer that is available for each question. It's only going to get you more confused. If you only read the correct answers and not like what they call here the distractors. Once you see that once you see that question on a test, if you only read the correct answers and that's what you remember, that's going to pop out for you whenever you're taking the test. So just do the correct answers. And this site actually has a really nice thing where it actually will remove the quote-unquote distractor answers, where all you'll have able to read is just the correct answers, which I really like. It's really nice, and I tell that to my students when I'm giving tests. Only do the correct answers. So that's how I recommend that you do it. If you're reading the question pool and the answers, just read the correct answers. Okay, so let's go on up here and let's look at the technician class area to study. Now, this will give you 3 areas: the study mode, read questions, and practice test. Practice test is going to come a little bit later on, and it also has 2 graphs down at the bottom, one of which is your practice test scores. Once you start taking practice tests, you'll get a line graph on how you've done. And the other one is your progress through your study. Along the bottom, it'll show you the different sub-elements of the technician class or the general class or extra class, how much of the questions you've seen and how many that you've gotten right most of the time. So let's go into just the reading questions part. Along the top, up here in the top left-hand side, you'll see where it says sub L T1. If you click on that, it'll give you a list of all the sub-elements in the technician class pool, as well as a list of all the number of questions in each one of the sub-elements. On the right-hand side on this little 3- thing, it gives you the ability to select the individual sections. Now, if you're on a desktop, these areas will be along the blue bar across the top, and you can just click on them individually. But with the phone, you have limited workspace area. And then also has, like I was talking about before, the hide distractors part. You can click on that, and it'll remove all of the wrong answers. So that's all you have to study. Okay, so with this one here, the sub-element T1 is going to be covering FCC rules, definitions of the amateur radio service, stuff like that. In this section, in the T1A section, we're talking about the amateur radio service, purpose and permissible use of amateur radio, RACES rules, basically stuff like that. So let's look at the first question here. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see the question number. It'll have the actual question itself in dark black, and then it'll have the 4 available questions. The correct answer is going to be in green, and the other 3 answers are going to be kind of grayed out, where it's a light gray and it's kind of hard to read. That's there to give you the easier way to find the correct answer. The other ones are not easily readable, and then the green is very readable. So it kind of gives you the way to just read the correct answers if you don't want to hide it. But if you do want to hide it, just simply go up there, click hide distractors, and it'll show you just the correct answers like it has here. Now, the other thing you can do, on the top right-hand corner, you'll notice a little page corner turned down. You can click there, and it'll give you a description or a example or reasoning behind why the answer is correct. So that's very nice, and it has something like that on every one of them. Pardon me. Okay, so next up, let's back out here and head back to the main menu, and we're going to go into the study mode, which is the top one up here. Now, in the study mode, it's basically the same thing. It has the question number, it has the questions, but it has all 4 answers, and none of them grayed out, none of them are green or anything like that. And you can select if you want all questions or each individual area simply by clicking up on the top bar where it says all questions right now. You can select the individual sub-elements, and that's all you will study, or you can click the all questions. And I'm just going to keep it as all questions right now, just to kind of go through it and look at it. But like with this one, what is the correct way to connect a voltmeter to a circuit? And if you read through the answers, some of them are kind of weird, and it's like, really? But the correct answer is in parallel with the circuit when you're trying to measure voltage. So that's what I'm going to click on, and when I do, it will change it to green, so you'll know that it's the correct answer. And it'll also say correct answer along the top, and it'll give you the little folded over corner on the top right hand side, so you can see the explanation, I guess you could say, of why that is correct. Okay, now next thing you do, just click on the next button, and it'll take you to the next question. Again, it gives you the question number, the question, and the 4 possible answers, and you simply click on the one that you think is correct, and it'll tell you whether you're right or you're wrong. So let me click on one here and see if I can get one incorrect. I'm not reading it or anything like that. I got that one right. Okay, there we go. Now I got that one wrong. So what it does is it will put that answer in red and put a line through it, and you'll see it says incorrect on the top of the box there. Along the bottom, you can see where it says show correct answer. If you click on that, it'll give the correct answer in green. Okay, next up, that's the way that you study. And of course, you have the little icon in the top right-hand corner where you can see the explanation. Okay, so let's back out here and let's do the practice test real quick. Basically, this is going to have a practice test. You're going to have 35 questions for the technician and the general, and 50 questions for the extra. And it'll just have the individual thing. On the desktop version of it, you'll actually have the total number of questions on the left side over by where it says technician, and on the right side it'll tell you how many you have left. And then each time you answer a question, it will decrease so you know how much you have left. You can also, on the desktop, you can either use your mouse and click on one of them. You can use the arrow keys, the left and the right arrow key, to go between different questions. Or you can simply type in A, B, C, or D, and it'll automatically select it and go to the next question. When you're doing it on a phone, you don't have that option. All you do, just scroll up and click on it, and scroll up and click on it, and it'll go through. So let me go through these real fast. I'm going to fast forward through these until I get to the end of the thing. So hold on one second. All right, kind of fast forward here a little bit, and I'm just kind of randomly selecting different ones. Not really trying to get any one of them right or wrong, just kind of random things. I want to get through this so we can see what the actual results page looks like. So here we have 12 questions left. And again, just randomly picking something. It's not anything that's going to be right or wrong. I'm not reading or anything like that. Of course, you would want to whenever you're taking the test, but I'm not. Okay, so here we go. We're coming up on the last question now. We have one left. So pick just a random answer here. And at the top, you'll see where it says grade exam. That means you have no more questions left to answer. So simply click the grade exam button on the bottom of the screen there, and it will take you to the results. Now, it'll tell you what you did. Of course, I failed. I got a 10 out of 35 or 28%. And it shows you a graph of each sub-element on how many questions you got wrong in that sub-element. So if you made a whole bunch of mistakes on one, you can just click on that one sub-element, and it'll take you to that sub-element where you can study that element more. And here you'll see where it gives you a list of all the questions that you got wrong, and you can go to them and actually look at them. This one I clicked on it here and it went to it, so you can read that. Okay, so let's back up here, and this is back to the main page. Again, you have the bar graphs here and the study performance, I guess you could say, graphs. And I clicked on the wrong one there, I think. Let me back up here. All right, now we're back to the main page. I'm going to scroll down towards the bottom, and I want to show you the find a session option. Now, these are testing sessions that have been submitted to hamstudy.org. You can also find different testing locations on the arrl.org website. And this will give you a list of all the ones. I'm recording this on March the 9th here, and you'll see there's like 7 testing sessions today in different areas. It tells you what time they start, the club that's putting it on, where it is city-wise, and it'll give you a map, and then also who the testing VE is. Now you can also put your zip code in there and click on filter, and it'll filter out ones that are close to you, or you can do the find nearby button, and this works especially good if you're using a phone. It'll use the GPS location on your phone or in your browser. Both of them will work, and it'll give you a list of all the ones that are near you. Of course, it's the same one for me. All right, y'all, so that pretty much wraps it up. I want to thank y'all for watching. If you are looking for getting your ham license or upgrading, or you know somebody that is, make sure you share this video with them so they can check out hamstudy.org. It is a free service, like I've said before, with a paid app for offline use. But I like it. It's a very nice little program, and it has a lot of potential for helping you get your license. So again, make sure you click that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss anything. Check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course the blog at everythinghamradio.com. So until next time, y'all, I'll see you later. 73.